Alexis Kierstead, and my favorite athlete is Sydney Romero.
Hi, my name is Julianna Hutchins. My favorite food is ice.
Hi, my name is Eilani Hicks. My favorite food is chicken.
There's a look at the team from Green Country Little League in Muskogee, Oklahoma. And here's a look at Ava Koenig from Summerlin South Little League. She will get to start her second here so far this week.
Yeah, Ava Koenig has done a really good job. She got the start in their opener against New Jersey. Came out of that one with 4 strikeouts and 2 walks. Does a really good job of filling the zone with strikes. Expect to see her start a lot of batters with strikes and stay really tight on the zone the whole game.
She's hitting .571 at the plate too, so she can do it all here. But here, Alexis Kierstead. You saw there in the open. A lot of great nicknames here this week. Call her She-Hulk. A lot of strength, 13 years old at Mustang Middle School. A couple of runs batted in her first couple of games. And now trying to find the strike zone. In there for a strike.
You know, and Matt, we've seen a lot of different strike zones being called back behind the plate. These umpires all have a different zone that they're looking for. So early on, we've seen some of our pitchers struggle as they step in the first inning as they navigate where the strikes will be called.
Kierstead to Alexis Kearns for the out. Kearns always has a smile on her face. One of the smaller players on the field, but has been lights out both in the field and at the plate as you look at this Oklahoma batting order.
One of those players that stands out in the order. Goose Hutchins hitting in that 3 slot, doing a tremendous job of just hitting the ball hard every at bat.
Taylon Starr fouls that one out of play. He's got a hit this week, 3 runs in a couple of games, walked twice. On base percentage of .500 so far for the 13-year-old. She can hit the ball hard, and she does here, but tracking it. Oh, it's over her head. Ellie Prindle couldn't corral it, and standing at second base is Taylon Starr.
Well, and what do you do with your best hitter? You surround her by the other hitters who do damage as well. So who hits the best on the team? Perhaps Goose Hutchins, but Taylon Starr says, wait a minute, I got to get on so that when Goose gets up, she can hit me around. This one, so close to being out of the park and sets up Oklahoma with a runner in scoring position for the big hitter, Goose.
Goose Hutchins has a 2-run shot to dead center. You saw it in the open. Went off of the crane that holds up the camera there in center field. So I hope our guys are ready for it out there. In there for a strike on the outside corner.
Now that's going to be a pitch that will be instrumental in the success of Koenig in the circle. If she's able to get that extension off the outside corner, that's going to be a great pitch that she's going to need to lean on throughout this game.
In the dirt, Starr gets the third.
Yeah, back behind the dish, Kayleen Enriquez does a really good job of keeping that one in front, does not let it get to the backstop, but it ricochets far enough away for an advancement.
2-1 count here. That one is high. How do you treat this here as a pitcher?
Definitely don't want to give her anything good to hit. You do have a strike on her. You'd like to see her chase, but we've noticed that Goose is very good at staying tight on the zone with what she will swing. I would go ahead and put her on.
Yeah, they do. Perhaps an unintentional, intentional walk there to Goose Hutchins, who's hitting .833 this week.
Well,
and it doesn't get much easier here with Candace Burnett.
It does not, and that's the thing about this Oklahoma lineup. It just is one hitter after another. Burnett steps in with 3 hits on the week so far. She's 3 for 6, so batting .500 and hit .800 in the regional.
She crushes that one to left. Prindle under it. And Starr will tag from third. Boy, they've gotten some good swings here and a good run.
Well, and what do you do with a big hitter up? You're just looking for that sac fly. If you can't hit it out, which she almost does on this swing, it's a pitch that's up. It's a great attack on a ball, knowing she can drive this one to the outfield and plate the first run of the game.
See, they've read the scouting report. They've seen the stats. As you see, Prendle, let's see, outfielder's almost on the warning track, but she's back there just a couple of feet to spare. These big bats here for Oklahoma. Here's Riley Dotson. 13 years old, off-speed pitch there for a strike.
That is a beautiful changeup. She's going to need to use that one all day, especially if she can garner that one as a strike. Really nice pitch. Always want to make sure you keep a changeup down in the zone, because if a hitter has a chance to reload, you don't want it up in the zone.
All the way, tracking it. Be a little shy of that camera well. Always got to be careful there as Julianna Feet tried to make a play.
And that's the key. That camera well does jet out from the fence, so it takes away a little bit of the range of Fee over there. So a little tentative, got a little alligator arm action on that one.
The 1-2 from Koenig. Settle in for a good one here tonight. Should be some good offense. Good defense as well. Dotson looks at that one, and we're full.
And the only thing that can be done on that pitch, it's a really nice spot, but back there behind the dish, Enriquez, if she can just catch that and hold that a little higher instead of letting her hand drag down, that'll maybe get that call. You know, there's so much that can be done back behind the plate to help out your pitcher. Got to be able to catch and hold rather than drag or let the hand carry you out of the zone, because sometimes an umpire needs to see where that pitch lands to make sure that they give the right call.
That one fisted. It's going to stay fair. Koenig boots it. And now Goose Hutchins heads to third. That was a literal boot as it was kicked into foul territory.
I see what you did there, and it was totally unintentional as Koenig came out hard out of this one. She gets fisted, jammed, can't get her hands through, but it gets just enough of it. It's gonna stay fair, and so Koenig has to pick it up. But what you need to do as a defender in that situation is make sure you go down with two hands rather than just with the glove. Doesn't get it with the leather. Now, on the corners, you've got your runners. How are they gonna defend this one with 2 outs?
Lily Beveridge, oh, there's JoJo Cornell there at third at the hot corner with the end.
Amazing defense, but 1 run is able to be plated in this one. A hot corner grab gets him out of the inning. How is Nevada going to respond? That she will throw here, but relies on that screwball, so expect to see that ball inside to right-handers, away from the lefties, really trying to fill the zone.
Had a complete game, 11 strikeout performance. 72% of her pitches were strikes in that game. No runs, a walk. It's Cam versus KK. Here, Kayleen Enriquez looks at her first strike.
And when it comes to Cam Casey in the circle, she throws a ton of strikes. Only walk given up by this pitching staff was by Cam Casey in that game against New Jersey.
Good hack there by Enriquez. 1 and 2. Enriquez with a couple of hits this week, including a triple. Coach Linehan saying she is our igniter. Always good to have an igniter in the leadoff spot.
And ultimately, Matt, she wants to play softball in the Olympics. So she's coming around at just the right time, because we know that Olympics will not be in the, or softball will not be in the next Olympics. They're looking to have it back when it comes to the States.
And that one goes back up the middle. Enriquez with her 3rd hit of the week. And the leadoff runner is on for this hot-hitting Nevada squad.
Tell you what, both of these teams came to play, and they may not have been played with a deficit up to this point this week, but this team definitely knows how to compete. Great leadoff hitter, and now a ton of speed over there on first base.
And a ton of ability at the plate. Ava Koenig Tonight's starting pitcher for Nevada, hitting .571, 4 for 7, 4 runs scored, and a walk. And you're certainly going to want to keep an eye on KK Enriquez at first base.
Yeah, so not only do you have a ton of speed at first in Enriquez, but a ton of speed in Ava Koenig as well. She had an inside the park grand slam at the state tournament.
Koenig to short hop, unable to make a play is Taylor Starr. The first 2 have reached.
What you find in these games that mean so much is your emotions run high. So while that may have been a routine ground ball to the shortstop, Starr, sometimes you play a little too fast when your emotions are high, and right now the infield's going to be a little bit more in with a runner in scoring position.
Charlie Simi also hitting .571 and will add to that batting average. KK Enriquez rounds third, play at the plate, and she is out. And they're going to call obstruction perhaps on the journey home. The third base umpire makes the call, and it is 1-0. Let's take another look.
So as Enriquez was coming around second base, it looked like there was some contact made. Comes down to what happened before that play, before we gave you the look.
It would have to be perhaps the shortstop as she's leaving second to get to third base would be the guess, or perhaps at third.
And Matt, remember, we do have video replay here in the Little League World Series, but obstruction is not a call that you can go to for review. So that call on the field will stand no matter what, but that information, it most likely is the shortstop. If there is contact made with any fielder not trying to make a play on the ball, so the ball to the right side of second base, you can see that there's a touch made by the shortstop who is advancing over to second base for a coverage. But because that contact is made, typically they're only protected between the base they come from and the next base. But the third base umpire, recognizing that contact, says she's protected between third and home as well, and awards that, and the game is now tied.
It's just a judgment call. It's a judgment call there, but there was contact made. And obstruction is the call, and so now we are tied up, nobody out. And Simi on first. All 3 batters have reached base. And now Julianna Fee steps to the plate. She's got a hit this week, scored 5 times. A couple of walks as well for Jules, the 13-year-old.
Matt, I don't know about you, but I'm already nervous in this game, and we're sitting in the bottom of the first inning. These 2 teams have so much on the line. I actually penciled these 2 teams to make it all the way to the finals of the World Series, knowing just the potential they have in their offenses and the great pitching they have in the circle.
That one fouled away. It looked like, no, not fouled away. Just a pass ball. Looking for a clear call here.
And so the throw to first base didn't need to be made, because if that was third strike, first base was occupied, so there didn't need to be a throw made, even if that had been a check swing drop third strike.
Julianna Fee now, 1-2. Fee to first, off of Needham. 1 run scores, another run heading home. She will score. And Fee now caught in a rundown between first and second. Needham chasing at her. The throw, she will be out, but not before 2 more come home.
Holy cow, these 2 teams can play ball, and this is a great game. Hard hit to the right side. It's ricocheted off the body of Needham. Gets into the outfield, and aggressive base running requires a throw to come home, but it's way offline. Cut by the catcher, Burnett. Over there, the shortstop Starr gets it, feeds it to Needham at first. Great job, just giving a nice little toss. The out at second base, but the damage is done. 2 more runs come across.
Head on a swivel here tonight. These 2 teams coming to hit, coming to play.
I hope you brought your snacks with you before this game started, because you're not going to have much time at the commercial break to be able to get that and make it back. There's action constantly in this game.
That's why we have help.
That's right.
Low it inside for a ball.
And I like that try coming out of the hand of Casey. Try to get that inside low pitch, get that call, but it's a little too low. It's a really good spot, though, for this good hitting Nevada team.
3-1 Nevada from Summerlin South Little League. Their ball inside, 2-1. Joe Corneal, her mom played catcher for UNLV. Athleticism in the family.
Corneal's mom actually played, her name's Cherie, played in the '96 Olympics as a catcher for Puerto Rico, caught the Olympian for USA, Lori Harrigan, and now Giovanni Corneal, coached by Lori Harrigan with her pitching skills. So it's come full circle for Corneal.
Full count now to Corneal. To first base. Little redemption there for Nita. Makes the play for out number 2. We're seeing some hard hit balls here tonight.
These teams definitely are coached well, and when it comes to being successful, this hitter right here, Alexis Kearns, has garnered my respect this week, not only with her defensive play at second base, but also with how successful she's been at the plate.
Hitting .714 at the plate. Drove in 7 runs yesterday, 8 for the week. 11 years old, they call her Cricket. And Jiminy, she's been good. Sorry, gotta empty the holster here. 1-0 to Kearns. Cricket had a great game yesterday. Here's a look.
She definitely did. She came away with what you talked about, Matt. Those 7 RBI in one game. You know, we talked about Goose Hutchins being really good, but defensively, she came away with some wedge hits. Noticed when the camera was on her, gave a little blink.
Gotta know when the camera's on you.
That was maybe one of my favorite moments of the World Series. I was watching that game. She took a peek over her shoulder, recognized the camera was on her, and then just gave the little smile, and then got embarrassed and turned away.
Like Jim Lenahan told us before the game, before this week, said, you're going to love her. You are going to love Cricket Kearns.
And he's right. I have fallen in love with this kid. She has been so dynamic at the plate, coming away with some great plays at second base, just a ton of range. And don't let her size deceive you. Very quick, has a great first step. So while she was named Cricket when she was 6 years old, Sis Bates is her favorite player. And I'm going to say she's right with that kind of defense.
Good at bat here for Alexis Kearns. Since she got the nickname Cricket, she was little. One of her coaches gave it to her. And when she first started playing rec ball at 6 years old, it just stuck until now. And we're not moving off of it either. Off speed, able to stay patient in the dirt, and now Kearns will stay there. Goose Hutchins had some time, and of course, knowing that Kearns is a pretty speedy runner, that ball just a little off.
Well, and with this ball, you see the range of Goose coming across, but the speed makes her rush her throw, and because of that rush, she just lets go a little bit too late. This one in the dirt, really good job by Needham to block it up, prevent it from the advancement, but in the dirt, an error by Goose Hutchins over there at third extends this inning.
Score that one, E5, and now Megan Up is up with her team up 3-1 in this first inning.
Well, Matt, it's almost like they heard us when we said, you know, this team's never played with a deficit. They're like, yeah, you're right. Well, let's show you what we do with a deficit.
We don't like being behind. I think we can change that. We do have bats in our hands. 1-1 here to Up. Up puts in a lot of work. Coach says stays after practice for 30 minutes, just putting bunts down and hitting buckets of balls, working on her own, putting in the time. See Kearns coming off the base there, and again, you are allowed to dive headfirst back into the base, just not heading to a base.
Correct. Anytime you see a headfirst slide going into a base, it'll be an automatic out. Little League does not allow the headfirst slide into any base other than diving back in on a play such as that. Ooh, Matt, that's a nice pitch.
3-1.
That's a pretty pitch, and I'd be wanting that one as a pitcher in the circle, but as a hitter, I'd be like, oh, cool. I like that. But the trade-off is the outside pitch is typically the one that has been a little bit more generous.
Swing and a miss, and we're full. Megan up, looking for her first hit of this Little League Softball World Series. Kearns will be running on contact here with 2 down. Running on the pitch, I should say, and she does. And a walk.
That is a fabulous pitch. I really like that location by Cam Casey. That spot down in the zone was a strike in the last game, but we've changed home plate umpires. Now we've got Jim Gill back behind the dish. That's going to need to be brought up just a hair to be called a strike.
30 pitches here in this inning for Cam Casey. Amelia Barkoff, going to be in the 8th grade this fall, 13 years old, looking for her first hit of the week. Part of 4 State of Nevada championship teams.
Barkoff looking for her first hit here in the World Series. Hit 400 in the regional, had 2 RBI, and right now with a runner in scoring position, it would be a great time for her to be able to find that first hit in the World Series.
The 1-2 to Barkoff. That one is right there for a called strike 3. But the damage has been done. Nevada with a 3-1 lead.
Nevada able to respond, comes away with a big one. They've got the 3-1 lead. How is Oklahoma going to respond? Well, coming out of regionals, I mean, Nevada, so many big scoring wins coming into this World Series. And Oklahoma, undefeated in this one, had a tight game against New Jersey, but then a 4-inning win against North Carolina as they scored 10 runs.
Interesting call there. Again, it hit her, but home plate umpire Jim Gill saying did not make an effort to get out of the way.
And this is a tough one. It comes down to he felt like she moved into the pitch. So you don't have to make an effort to get out of the way. However, you do need to make sure you're not moving into the area where the ball has the ability to go.
Yeah, you don't have to lean out, but you can't lean in. 2-2.
That's a pretty swing. Just mechanically, both of these teams do a really good job of staying balanced in their legs, keeping their eyes still as they attack the pitch. Just really good balance throughout their swings. And they're good at making contact with the changeup because they leave the barrel back in their approach.
She hit her first over the fence home run this year, so she can put it out there, but here doesn't leave the infield. That one goes to Fee for the first out.
Number 22, Zoe Griffin.
That'll bring up Zoe Griffin, who pitched on Thursday against North Carolina. A few innings, a few strikeouts. There's a few pitchers here that you'll find in the circle here for Oklahoma. First pitch swinging. Enriquez, what a nice play by the catcher. Didn't have time to rip off the mask. I got to sprint over there and make that play, and she does.
I love this. You know, and with that kind of mask, the hockey style mask, you don't have to rip the mask off. You've got a wide field of vision. She tracks it all the way, Looks as though she may have some family in the stands. Great catch for the second out of the inning.
Great stuff there. KK Enriquez. Emotional leader on this team for Nevada, according to coach. That one back off the box. There's Kearns to her belly. The throw! Not in time. We've seen Cricket get down on the belly and make a dive and make a play. That one just not in time.
I am in love with this kid at second base. To be able to dive and still make a close play like this over at first base. Yeah, usually Crickets annoy you with their noise. And right now, Cricket doing a great job flashing the leather. She is good over there at second base.
One Alexis to another. Kierstead now up. The lineup is turned over. Leadoff batter. With 2 down here for Oklahoma. Oklahoma, the champs of the Southwest Regional. Muskogee, Oklahoma. Swing and a miss.
That's a big hack, but I love a hitter that's willing to take a big hack early in a count. Big swings can result in big damage, but as this count winds down, even at 1-1, you got to be careful.
That one gets away. Casey gets to second.
We've seen a ton of balls in the dirt on pitches coming in, and sometimes it's because of the grip. You saw the pitcher Koenig going to the rosin, but these catchers have been absolute workhorses back behind the dish this week.
Three and one now to Kierstead. Taylon Starr, who drove one to the outfield wall, is on deck. That one fisted, and a very easy play made by Charlie Simi. A runner left on. Nevada holding on to a 3-1 lead. Catch all the excitement from the Little League Baseball and Softball World Series tournaments. Visit the first ever virtual fan zone experience. Visit littleleague.org / or is that a / fan zone, and check out the shirts here, the Cricket shirts. That's just great.
Can I request that I get one of those? I am one of her biggest fans, so I'm going to just throw that one out there to the universe. I will wear that shirt. So I am in love with the play of cricket.
This is our last game of the series, so there's no payola or anything. There's no like plugola.
Right, so now I can be a true fan.
That's right.
Now I can take it home and actually become a fan of Nevada's cricket currents.
Matt Schick, Jenny Dalton Hill. Battle of 2-0 teams here in pool play. Oklahoma hitting 317 coming into today. Nevada hitting 339. Two hottest hitting teams of the week so far, both 2-0, and Cheyenne Dill now down 0-2. Check that, Ellie Prindle now up for Nevada. Always have to flip the lineup card over. Swing and a miss. And the second strikeout for Cam Casey.
Yeah, as a hitter, you have to be aware of that pitch away. That one was a great pitch to swing at, but you have to let an outside pitch travel and try to go the other way with it. They're a little ahead of it. Goes down as a strikeout.
KK Enriquez, you heard the coach or fans say, come on KK. Just love these nicknames. Made a great catch last half inning behind the plate. Casey checks the wristband and the pitch. That one is skied. Needham giving chase. Got some room. Out number 2.
Great job tracking that ball, making sure that she was away from the fence. But Zoe Griffin in the circle, making an appearance here for Oklahoma. She's a little bit of a different look than Cam Casey. She did throw already in this one. She got the start against North Carolina, threw 29 pitches and 23 of them were strikes. So she loves to fill the zone, had 3 strikeouts in that one.
That one scooped up there by Needham. A quick inning and much needed for Oklahoma. Maybe a pitching change is what they needed. Zoe Griffin coming in deck. Already has a home run to her name this week.
Yeah, so while we see that the pitch is not being called on the inside corner, the outside corner, very good spot for these pitchers to just fill. Those are hard pitches to be able to turn on as a big hitter. And when it comes to both of these teams, they're looking to get a lot of barrel on the ball. So in her last time up, she hit a double out to left, deep drive. So an outside pitch is going to be hard for her to really turn on and go with.
That one back up the box and through. Charlie Simi tried to make a play on it. That hit a little bit too hard, and a leadoff single for Taylon Starr.
You know, and even if Simi was going to be able to come away with this one up the middle, more than anything, you're just trying to show effort to your pitcher, saying, hey, I'm going to get dirty for you. I want to make sure that I put all-out effort into this game. So even if she'd come away with that, she was not going to get the throw across to first. But I love that effort. That's what you need out of a shortstop, but it brings up maybe one of the hottest hitters in this lineup.
No maybe about it. Julianna Hutchins hitting .833 entering today. Walked her last time up. And you can see they're just not going to give her much in the zone.
No, and when it comes to getting hit by a pitch, that's maybe the path of least resistance when it comes to this hitter in the box.
Julianna Hutchins, 5 hits, 3 doubles this week. Big.
Ooh, those are my favorite. I mean, don't get me wrong, a foul ball is not what you want, but when it comes to fouling off a pitch, when you are just underneath it and you foul it straight back, you know that your timing is right on. So a changeup in this situation would be a great pitch to throw her. However, she's shown this week that she can hit the changeup too.
That one low and away, 3-1. Goose Hutchins played some baseball until 10U as well. Smacks that one to left center field, coming in to make a play on it. A little bit too deep for Prindle. You certainly have to respect the bat, so you can see how far she was back there, but thought that ball might have hung in the air long enough, but it lands in front of Prindle, and now 2 on here.
Well, and you do have to respect the bat that's up to plate, but you can't defend the ball that is beyond the fence. So I love the respect that they're showing these hitters for Oklahoma. However, that could be a catchable ball if Prindle's able to just play in another 2 or 3 steps.
And now Candace Burnett 3 hits this week. Drove in the run with a fly ball deep to left in the first inning. She can put it out. Now an 0-2 count. Call her Candy Cane or Daddy Longlegs. We've heard a few of these for the 9th grader. Hit 800 in the regional with 3 doubles. Just missed on the outside corner.
I love that spot though, and you never want to bring a pitch over the plate when you're in an 0-2 count. Knowing that the batter's going to have high emotion trying to protect the plate, keep it away from a hitter. See if she'll swing and miss when you're that far ahead as a pitcher.
That one is crushed to left center field, and that will go to the wall. Taylor Starr is going to score easily. Goose Hutchins scampers into third. Goose is going to score! Standing up, and we're tied. Thought we might have seen a stop sign there at third, but there was no stopping Goose.
Look at those muscles. She may be a candy cane, but it comes down to just being able to reach this pitch in her wheelhouse. Beautiful swing, drives this one deep, and there is no hesitation by Goose Hutchins as she hits third base. Matt, she scored from first, and because the cutoff was missed, that is a stand-up double. Beautiful swing.
I told you this would be a good one. We are tied at 3 in the third, and we got a hit batter. No, foul ball. That's
hit the knob. Hit the knob. Usually, if that hits the batter,
she's gone.
They buckle. The knees buckle. You fall to your knees because that one hurts, especially when you get it on the hands. But hit the knob. Unfortunate strike for Dotson.
Riley Dotson. Off speed, nice pitch there from Koenig.
Holy cow, Matt, you cannot take your eyes off of this game because in the swing of a bat, we're back to tied 3-3.
So that's kind of the feel of the college game.
Right?
Like this is high-level softball here.
It is. However, you're also seeing some miscues that happen at this age.
Sure.
Missing cutoffs, maybe not charging a ball hard enough.
That one gets away. Mistakes like that. Burnett to third. Seeing a lot of future college players here on this field, no doubt. Best on best. Oklahoma and Nevada. Pop fly there from Dotson. Fee makes the play for out number 1.
Now batting, number 9, Lily Beveridge.
If we had an all-name team, which to my credit, I have requested a half dozen times. I mean, I want to do this. We're running out of time here. But Lily Beveridge would be on the top 5 list, no question.
Top 5 even.
Might be number 1. Beveridge to third. Cordia looks back, and here comes Burnett. Play at the plate, but she slid head first. We'll see if they make a call here. The ruling is safe. And Nevada coach Linehan is coming out.
We've seen a play like that this week where the play at the plate was made with a runner trying to slide around and reach in, and it looks like a head-first slide. In this situation, it looks as though she leads with the top of her body, which is illegal in Little League play. So I'm guessing that's what the conversation is going to be with the head coach, Linehan.
And if you see the replay, there's no question it's a head-first slide, and yeah, she's out. It is the rule. It is the rule, and out number 3 occurs at the plate. And I wonder if what Coach Hutchins is going to, well, just looking.
Because of that, this game sits even at 3-3 instead of allowing the go-ahead run to be plated.
Zoe Griffin remains in the circle for Oklahoma. Charlie Seamy now at the plate. Candace Burnett working hard there behind the dish.
And it was actually Burnett with the slide that was not quite right into the plate. But you love that aggression. You want to teach that because later on in life, she's going to need that slide as she moves into high school ball and also into the collegiate ranks. But you understand why at this age you don't want the head first slide to be in the game, just for safety precautions. But that's a fabulous slide that she's going to want to use later on in her career.
No one on scholarship here yet.
Not yet. Just you and me. Full right.
Charlie Seamy. Hit and scored in that first inning. Had a great bat. Coach Linehan warned us about her. She said scouts are going to find her. You will just find her as you watch in the stands, just with her style, her bat, and her arm. League age 11. She's got a great future in front of her.
She's a 5-tool player, meaning she's got all the skills needed to play at a very high level. And when you have that kind of athleticism, what's your favorite word? Oh, her word, swag. Got to be able to strut your stuff when you're as good as Charlie Seamy. I mean, Charlie Seamy is so good that this season, she hit an over-the-fence home run in back-to-back at-bats in the regular season.
Catcher and pitcher checking the wristbands, making sure they're on the same page. And a walk. Leadoff walk here for Charlie Seamy. Julianna Fee is going to get an opportunity here. They call her Jules, and she's got a cousin DJ, play volleyball for Army, her role model, and Julianna wants to follow in her footsteps, sort of, at Army, but playing some softball.
Yeah, her footsteps that took her to Army, but not in that sport. She wants to play softball there, but look at that. DJ's wedding was able to go, and you don't see the picture here, but she actually reaches up and takes the microphone in a picture that comes a little bit later.
Julianna Fee with the fly out and one away.
Now batting number 16, Giovanni Corneal.
Can you please hold this? Thank you.
Now we're seeing a lot of towels in back pockets just with the humidity that's been here in Greensville this week. Lots of rosin, lots of going to the dirt to be able to find that grip. And Corneal is a pitcher, so she's used to having that in her back pocket.
Runner thinking of going, throw back there.
Okay, so Matt, let's talk about the head first slide there. So it's okay to dive back into a bag going head first. It's just not okay to go into an advancing bag without being feet first.
That would be a huge running disadvantage to have
Can
to
you
go
imagine?
feet first to every base, even if you're going backwards.
You'd see no leads. Like you'd get 2 feet off and just step right back. I can't imagine trying to go feet first back into a bag.
JoJo Corneal. Looks up to Rachel Garcia and Odyssey Alexander. Has to wear eye black as a superstition. Used to think it was bad luck before a game, but her Little League teammates, she said, helped her get over that. She wore eye black for state and they won, and it's not going away.
I will say softball is one of the biggest superstitious sports around.
That one in the dirt, throw down, hit from slide.
I want to see what feet first slide looks like now.
Going back. I don't know if you're coming or going with feet first slide. 2-2 to Corneal. That one will drop in there for a base hit. Seamy had to hold and a good throw and an out. Kierstead with a heads-up play, knowing that Seamy had to make sure that that ball wasn't caught. You're kind of in no man's land as a base runner.
Yeah, Needham over there at second base it's a situation as a runner, you want to turn with your eyes to the ball, and what she did is she planted her right foot and turned her back to the ball. So the best way to read that is plant with the left foot, open up to the ball so you can read it better and not get in that situation that we just saw, but a great play by the right fielder.
Kearns, the center, and the one that's hard to retire just flew out. Oklahoma coming up in the bottom of the frame. Top. And this is a big picture view that she has. She's not just coaching them in the game, coaching them for life.
When we talked to Coach Galvin, we talked about, what makes Oklahoma so good. Talking about her team, she says, well, Oklahoma's pretty good at softball. And we take that to heart because this year we saw quite the display of offensive prowess by the University of Oklahoma at the Women's College World Series.
Allie Tucker tucks that one into right center field for a hit. One pitch and a leadoff single for Tucker.
Gotta love it to be able to come in and do damage right away, start these things off, get that leadoff hitter on base. Her first hit of this tournament.
Yeah, I'd like to refinance. Get me into a 15-year finance, if we could. Lock that into the rate. Was it 2.2? Yep, that's good. Thank you.
That is a pretty good rate, honestly, depending on how much you're trying to borrow.
I probably overshot there a little bit.
Yeah, but a 15-year note, that's pretty good.
Assuming he's got some equity.
Built up already, especially in this market.
Let's talk about housing, shall we? Aubrey Davis now in. 13 years old. It's 667 in the regional. Fouls that one away. Looking for her second hit of the week. Check that. 0 for 2 this week. Looking for her first hit. Hit 250 in the regional. Returning player. Wants to be a nurse. That one gets away from Enriquez. Tucker down to second.
And all of these players had to answer a question about who they look up to. And when it comes to who Davis looks up to, she says her teammates. That's a pretty cool answer because I don't think often enough we think about the people around us that are witnessing everything that we do. Well, Davis, always paying attention.
That one inside. I was also impressed. She said if I won the lottery, I'd buy a Dodge truck. This is great. (3-1) to Davis. Ground ball to the left side, will not get through, and there's no play for Seaming. Tucker was quick off that ground ball. Give credit to Tucker. Ground ball to the left side. It's in front of you. You got to make a decision quick.
Well, but such base running savvy over there for Tucker because she saw how aggressively the third baseman Corneal came off the bag to try to get that. So because of how far Corneal was away from third, she knew even if that ball was picked up by the shortstop Seamy, she was going to have a free path over there to third.
Elaney Hicks now up at the plate. Call her Einey, 13 years old, hit 500 in the regional, looking for her first hit of the week. Tucker at third, Davis at first. 3 consecutive pinch hitters here trying to get this thing going. To Corneal at third. Are they going to give up the run? No, Corneal coming home. Enriquez back to third. Out. With a tie ball game, JoJo Corneal with that ground ball was not going to give up that run, and it pays off.
Yeah, and typically on third base, you're looking at ball angle to be able to tell if you're going to advance on a hit, especially with the bases not being loaded. In this situation, she did not have to try to go, and that's the conversation going on between the third base coach Galvin and the runner over there at third. Tucker, she did not need to do that, especially with a ground ball right there to third base.
Tough break there. And a ground ball, instead of one out, and maybe you get that out at first, so you have runners at second and third. Now it's one out first and second. It's a tough spot. You're making these decisions right at the crack of the bat.
Well, in that situation, you're reading ground ball angle. So she recognized off the bat that the ball was to the ground. However, she didn't read the location well. And so because it was to the left side, she needed to stay put. But a hard break off the bag left her vulnerable.
That one, off the glove of Kearns. Davis is going to round third. She will score. And Oklahoma retakes the lead.
And you know Calvin is just kicking herself with the out that just occurred in the last at bat. That would have plated 2 runs. So with the sure-handed Alexis Kearns, or Cricket, over there at second base, an uncharacteristic miss for her plates a run, and now the lead for Oklahoma.
And now the heart of the order, including Taylon Starr. Oh, and it gets by the left fielder, Prindle. And Hicks is going to stay put at third. Wow.
That's a tough slot. We know that when you enter the ball game, the ball is going to find you. So Megan Up is new out there in left. She replaced Ellie Prindle. The ball found her. That's a tough break. Luckily, no runs scored, but now bases juiced for Goose.
Nowhere to put her. She's already got a home run to her name this week. Hitting over 800. You can pitch around her when there's a base empty. You cannot do it here. But you still got to be careful, right?
I still would. I don't know that I'm going to give her anything close to the zone. I'd walk her before I give her a good pitch.
That one in front of Enriquez. Back-to-back errors, or 2 errors in this inning. E4, E7. And again, a Nevada team playing at night. Now been playing during the day. Sun sets, get the lights, and maybe a ball gets lost on a fly ball. You just never know. But now 3-0 to Goose, and it looks like Nevada might be taking a page out of your playbook here. That went in the dirt.
While you hate to give up a run, 1 is a whole lot better than 4, and the potential for Goose to be able to launch one and get the grand slam, just too great. However, Matt, they're going to have to throw to somebody who hit a double in her last at bat.
Let's listen here to Coach Linehan.
Don't make it bigger than what it is, okay?
Hey, right, you got the stuff. You got filthy stuff, right? Hey, we can turn 2. Let's go home and get the force, right? Let's go home, get the force. Unless it's up the middle, then let's roll it. Ava, you got everything you need right here to get the next 2 outs, right? Let's go get it. Good? Yep. Let's go. Hey, let's go.
Sometimes it's all you can say. Let's go.
He was fired up to the point that he punched her pretty hard in the pitching hand. Was it just me, or did you hear her say ow?
Might have to replay that one. Candace Burnett had a double in the third. Not a lot of players you can avoid here in this lineup. Off speed, misses for a ball.
Yeah, Burnett has seen the ball well in her first 2 at-bats. That sac fly out to left was almost out, then the double to center. She has definitely put a lot of barrel on the ball here in this game.
She was out at the plate the last time. Oh, just got under that one. Who's going to make the play? Fee has it for out number 2, and that is a huge out for Nevada.
Well, and that actually didn't even need to be caught. That was an infield fly called by the third base umpire, and so that one was going to be recorded. Great leather on it to make the second out, but as the infield fly rule was called, she was automatically out.
Infield fly, runners on at least first and second and less than 2 outs. Prevents players from being able to do double plays. by intentionally dropping the pop fly on the infield.
Well, and now your defenders can play regular depth. There's no need to come home with this one. You've got an out at any base, roll a ground ball, get yourself out of this inning. Nevada hoping that they can keep this one on the ground.
Cheyenne Dill. Pinch hitting now, part of the mandatory play rule. Again, everyone gets at least one at bat. Shy, 13 years old. That one off speed and in there for a strike.
Pretty pitch, beautiful changeup on the inside corner. Great spot, gets the call, evens the count.
Dill already with a hit this week. Another one would plate at least one. That one fouled and out of play, 1-2. Ava Koenig trying to get out of this bases loaded jam with minimal damage. Full count now, and nowhere to put the pinch hitter Dill.
So with a full count, 2 outs, everybody will be in motion with the ball out of the pitcher's hand. So they're going to try to score 2 if she's able to get this one on the ground through the infield.
She gets it on the ground. Koenig has it. Oh, she's coming home! And it goes over the head of Enriquez, and that'll score another run! Koenig said, I'll take the path of the closest path, which was at home. But maybe in retrospect, the play is at first, Jenny.
With 2 outs and runners in motion, the reason you're able to get such a good lead on third is because there are already 2 outs and a full count. So no matter what, you're going to be going on the next pitch. Because of that, everybody was in motion. Because of that, the play needed to just go over to first base. That's a tough break for Nevada, but heads up base running, plates 2 for Oklahoma. This has been a tough inning for Nevada.
Lee Beveridge waves at that one, 0-2. Give credit here to Koenig, settling down after the throwing error. 3 errors this inning. Swing and a miss. And that will do it, but not before Oklahoma plates 4 runs, breaks the 3-all tie. Nevada, those big bats, they sure can respond. We'll see. Our pinch hitter, Kylie Husson.
Matt, these players are playing with so much pressure right now. We see those miscues, but they're happening because of the elevated emotion because of this game and what it means. Both of these teams undefeated coming into this game, the last 2 teams that are undefeated in the tournament so far.
Kylie Husson, going to be in 6th grade this fall. Coach Linehan said you can't find clothes small enough for it. We couldn't find jerseys and things small enough for it. It's great.
Oh. Kylie, I don't know what that's like.
we did talk about shirt sizes earlier, and someone said, "Are you a small or a medium?" And you said,
I'm a Marge.
Swing and a miss for the strikeout for Husson. Marge needs to be worked into the vernacular here. Now, another pinch hitter, Gia Christmas, coming up here.
You know, and when it comes to jersey numbers, when you get to the Little League World Series, they're pre-printed, so you don't get to have the number that you have during the regular season. So Gia Christmas, regular number 25.
Why is that?
Nickname the Grinch.
Wow.
I mean, talk about taking that one to an extreme. Gia, gotta love it.
She at Christmas wearing number 25, usually throughout the season and in regionals. December 25th, last name Christmas. I mean, connect the dots. There's Gritch.
There she is. I love it. One of the youngest players on the team, 10 years old, coming into this one.
See if Gia's heart doubles in size.
Or the strike zone. She's stingy on the plate. Does she nip at the corners?
She steals her siblings' Christmas presents.
Maybe she steals bases.
We can do this all night.
Can she extend this at bat?
She said her walk-up song would be Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You.
Duh. I wonder if her favorite movie's Elf.
It's gotta be the Grinch, right?
Probably, right? I love Elf.
By the way, let's back up a few seconds. You worked in duh into the broadcast. That is outstanding. Swing and a miss, 2-2. Other acceptable answers would have been dur and dough.
Do we have a graphic for that?
Christmas fists that one off. Still 2-2. Yeah, Nevada and Oklahoma 2-0 entering this game in pool play. Destined for bracket play, which begins on Monday. You'll find this on the linear networks. Tomorrow's the last day of pool play. The top 4 in each division, the Mendoza division and the Finch division. Swing and a miss, back-to-back Ks. Here for Zoe Griffin. Top 4 in each division will advance to bracket play. The bottom team in each 5-team division will be eliminated. But has certainly had some great memories throughout the week. History of the phone.
Nice.
I like this. This is where we walked. Okay, we went from Alexander Graham Bell to the Operator Connect, rotary, cordless, cell phone, smartphone. I think Spaceship Earth at Epcot stops at the rotary phone.
But when it comes down to it, when did you get your first cell phone, Matt?
I was in, I had graduated college.
Yeah.
So that would have been 2001-ish, 2-ish.
You got yours before me.
You were busy doing Olympic stuff.
Ridiculous.
I was working at Sears mixing paint.
And paying for long distance by the minute still.
Getting your MCI prepaid cards. Kids have no idea how lucky they have it. Hallie Law now up. 11 years old. Nickname is the Matrix. See if she took the red or blue pill here. Give me at bat. See how far the rabbit hole goes. It's 0-2 here with 2 outs. 3 consecutive pinch hitters here is the mandatory play rule in effect.
Ooh, and how do you know a catcher thinks it's a strike? There is a long pause after the receive. So there you notice Burnett holding that one just a little extra, giving the umpire another look at it.
Hallie Law at the plate. Vernon Law was her great-grandfather, won the Cy Young for the Pirates. The 1960 World Series championship against the Yankees, was an all-star. That one, though, is called for a strike. Zoe Griffin strikes out the side.
So Nevada sends 3 pinch hitters up to the plate. Each of them, though, go down. The first one swinging, the second one swinging, and then she freezes Law as she strikes out the side.
So she has a horse at home, or maybe it's stabled somewhere, but she rode it about every day during quarantine. And her favorite athlete, Larry Bird.
That's taking it back a notch.
Larry Bird and Tom Selleck. She's got our generation covered.
Great
in there
mustache.
for a strike.
Great mustache, though.
Which one, Larry?
No.
My wife loves Blue Bloods.
Great show. Well, when it comes to Miley Needham, when we talked to Coach Galvin about her, she said, you know, she's one of those players that cheers for everyone. And Miley Needham actually had a home run in the regional tournament. So she's got a lot of power, even though she sits down here in the bottom of the lineup.
Her first over-the-fence home run this year. Actually pitched an inning as well in regional. A couple of regional champs here. Oklahoma, the champs of the Southwest Regional. Nevada, the champs of the West Region, which was played out in San Bernardino, California.
You know, and the key to being a really good hitter is making sure that you're on time. And when it comes to Needham, you can see that she's just a little bit late, getting fisted on these pitches. But she's got to be ready for that outside pitch that she has not really seen in this at-bat.
2-2. Ground ball back to Koenig. In time for the out.
Now batting number 22.
Last couple innings, they weren't able to retire that leadoff batter. And they do it here. In time for the bottom of the lineup here. Zoe Griffin. Got a really nice job in the circle. You think about Nevada and the power that they have shown here this week. 16 runs in their 2 wins, hitting .339. As Griffin, what a nice play there by the shortstop Simi for out number 2. And Griffin kind of falls on her keister there, and all she can do is laugh it off as she heads back to the dugout.
Well, and she's got to feel good about that contact. That was sharply hit, but over there at shortstop, that is butter. Smooth. I mean, talk about just making it look easy. Nice play.
And she fell on her butter.
Did you guys really just do that to her? Oh, poor thing. Matt, come on.
I did not call for the replay. Okay, that was not me. That is all the truck.
Not cool, guys.
Her friends are going to turn that into a GIF.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm here for you if you need help. Not cool. Not cool. Sorry, Zoe.
Come on up to the press box, and Jenny will give you her cell phone number and help you out. Hicks takes that one up high, 2-1. Hicks loves the Oklahoma Sooners. Player on that team she looks up to by the first name Jocelyn, that I think all of these players look up to.
No kidding. I mean, Jocelyn Allo this year, 34 home runs, National Player of the Year, just put up like video game numbers every time she came to the plate. Oklahoma scored so many runs this year. It was ridiculous, the kind of offensive output Oklahoma was able to give.
34 bombs this year, but Hicks unable to catch up with that one. Struck out there for Koenig. Nevada's got some work to do as we enter the bottom of the 5th.
Expect to have some more of those guest appearances as the week goes on. May have some live appearances from some of your favorite players. So stay tuned in.
Madison Shipman going to join us live?
Well, while she is amazing, you've gotten her every morning at the 10 and 1 o'clock games. No, we're talking about bringing in some really big names.
Oh, wow. Apologies to Madison there. I thought she qualified.
You're so mean.
Kayleen Enriquez, excuse me, now at the plate for KK.
Madison's big enough that she's here every day. We're talking about, you know, the ones that couldn't qualify.
That's a good save there.
Yeah. Matt, you're so mean.
KK back up the box for her second hit of the night. And the leadoff batter is on for Nevada.
great response by Nevada to be able to come up. They've got a 4-run deficit that they've got to make up. They've only got 6 offensive outs to play with, only going to be able to do what they can against the tough pitching. Zoe Griffin's been good in the circle after relieving Cam Casey.
Now what do we have here? It's a Little League official on the field. Be a lineup issue. Maybe a mandatory play issue. I'm not entirely sure.
There's still another inning, though, so
Sure.
they've got the 5th and the 6th to be able to play these athletes.
Or must
Maybe it's
you
a
get
reporting issue.
Yeah, there's something strange in the neighborhood. Something weird, and it don't look good. But I ain't afraid of no guns.
Your attention, please. Now entering the game.
There is
Attention runner or hitter
one more
for
player
Nevada, number 21.
that needs to get in.
Caroline Waters for number 19, Ava Koenig.
And so Caroline Waters is going to come in here as a pinch hitter for Koenig. So we'll have to get some clarification on that because there is another inning left. Puts that one down and does her job, and she's going to do more than that. She's going to get on base, and diving back into second is Enriquez. Linehan might not have wanted to pick up the phone, but you had Waters answer the call.
I see you, Waters, and I see you execute. This is just awesome. En fuego. Not only does she put down the sacrifice bunt, but her wheels down the line, forces an error over there at second base. A big turn by Enriquez, but the throw behind, she's still able to slide back in. That was legit. Loving that performance by Caroline Waters coming in cold off the bench.
Tiffany Gonzalez still on the bench, and so he does, and you can see Linehan did not plan on having to do this.
Yeah, and Matt, I'm not understanding why we saw a Little League official come on the field and kind of force these changes. It seems a little bit out of the ordinary.
Number 25.
Is it because technically they're in the bottom of the 5th and they could go up by 10 and she wouldn't bat? I don't know. If the run rule, I don't know. We'll
even at this point, a run rule situation, we're so far away
Right,
from that.
right.
Where Nevada could end this game, this inning, they would need to score a ton of runs to be able to make that happen.
Just wondering if, just trying to get into the heads of, okay, this could be the last inning technically. We don't really know. Probably won't be, but what goes into those kinds of decisions?
Well, the problem is it messes with your strategy because Charlie Simi, who we see Gonzalez hitting for, has been very successful at the plate tonight. She's 1 for 1 with a big single out there to center.
Usually you put in those pinch hitters at the bottom of the lineup, but Linehan is forced to put them here at the top, and so you take the bat out of Koenig's hands, who is hitting .571 this week. You take the bat out of Simi's hands, who's been one of the best hitters all week. And now Tiffany Gonzalez looking for her first hit of the week, and what a spot here. Down 7-3, and an 0-2 count. Did she go? And she did.
So Matt, that mandatory play rule means that they have to, in that rule, it's stated that they have to play before the 6th inning.
Got it.
And so as they head into this, they want to make sure they get everybody into the lineup before this 5th inning is over.
That makes sense.
Thank you for the help on the clarification coming in from those of our crew behind the scenes.
And a fee now, no pinch hitter required here. JoJo Corneal on deck. Runner goes, she's in there. Enriquez able to find her way to third.
I see you, Wheels, and I see you working. Way able to pick up this ball in the dirt, slide to the backside of the bag. Not only is that a heads-up play base running-wise, but a great slide to come away with the advancement.
Close play there at third. And now 3-0. First base open, and JoJo Corneal would present the potential tying run at the plate if he gets on.
Hey, look at the scoreboard. Okay, your teammates did that for you so you can come out here and pitch your game. Okay, so don't put so much pressure on yourself. You belong out here and you go get it, okay? It's just you and Candace, that batter's in the way, okay? Get her out of the way, focus on one pitch at a time, and go at it, attack. Okay, you're good enough to be out here. You're good enough to get yourself out of the situation, okay? Believe in yourself and your team's got your back.
Matt, that's awesome. To be able to have someone so fresh out of the game, to be able to give that kind of feedback to these players, they definitely have a gem, and I hope that they are paying attention to the lessons that Coach Haley Galvin is teaching, because that right there, wise words.
Waters on second, Enriquez on third, Julianna Fee at the plate, and she takes a 4-pitch walk. We knew it was only a matter of time before this Nevada lineup started to go. And they've done it so far this inning with only one hit.
And you know what they just did? They woke up this crowd. Summerlin South Little League has now woken up in the stands.
JoJo Corneal. That one is in there for a strike.
Yeah, that outside pitch has been called all night. That is not a surprise. So when it comes to that pitch, while the crowd may not like it, that is going to be called a strike, and these hitters have to adjust to a strike zone that has been very consistent here tonight.
In there for another strike. A good look there from Griffin. Enriquez at third, Waters at second, Julianna Fee at first. JoJo Corneal at the plate. Even with 2 strikes, she just looks so confident up there at the plate.
Yeah, just cool. Like, okay, we're cool. 0-2, game on the line, no big.
She says if softball was easy, they'd call it baseball. Here she is with an opportunity with 2 strikes and the bases loaded.
And she's the tying run. Yeah, that one's pretty close.
JoJo knew it was a ball.
Yeah. Got to go up there with the mentality, yes, 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 no, rather than maybe, maybe, maybe. I don't know.
That one inside and down, 2-2.
Yeah, and that inside pitch has not been called tonight. That's a great take. She knows that one is not going to be a strike. It's the outside pitch where she's going to be vulnerable. I would expect to see Zoe Griffin go back to that outside slot.
Zoe Griffin. Got some confidence from her coach Galvin. And that one, a ground ball, tried to do the backhand, and now running to make the play is safe. And a run does score. Now here's the question. You can review this if they would like. Watch the foot of Miley Needham. Did she touch? Does it matter if she touches the orange or the white?
So I was always taught that you could touch the orange for the out as well. However, this is not a play where she needed to go to the orange bag. So I think that's the issue in this situation. I think she needed to be going to the white bag because the ball was in fair territory.
Home plate umpire Jim Gill. Safe.
What a break for Nevada. Wow.
So, a run comes in, and the bases remain loaded. Corneal on first, Fee on second, Waters on third, and guess who's up? Alexis Kearns, Cricket Kearns, who's hitting 700 entering tonight.
The hottest RBI hitter in this tournament.
Knocked in 7 yesterday, 8 for the week. Smacks that one to right. Kierstead in her tracks. Waters thinking of tagging. What a nice throw home. And the bases remain loaded now with 2 down. That is a sizable out.
Yeah, that's a great job trying to draw that throw. And as a runner on third base, your job is to try to get the outfielder to throw that ball away. Doesn't do it, stays where she's at, but this is a tough spot for Nevada.
Who's up? Megan up. Tying run now at first. What a time for Megan up to get her first base hit of the week. Could score a couple, chip away at this deficit. Just 1 inning to go. That one on the outside corner for a strike, 0-2.
You know, while you at home may be struggling with this strike zone that's getting called, I will give a lot of credit to the home plate umpire, Jim Gill, who has been consistent on that call all night. It is not a surprise to these hitters that that pitch is being called to strike here in the 5th inning.
That one way up, Waters. Not even thinking of going. And Linehan, Coach Linehan, perhaps saying, we got to score on that one.
You have to score on that one. That is a missed opportunity 100% by Nevada. That ball kicked so far away. That's a tough one, a tough break. And Coach Linehan knew it.
Swing and a miss. And it might have cost him a run. And you see the embrace. You can see how big that was with Burnett and Griffin hugging these young ladies.
Yeah, I was going to say they're not acting like children.
No,
they're
not.
acting like pros. Oh, but there's a cute one.
Put it up.
Come on.
Turn it around.
Come on.
Turn it around.
Let's go.
Love it. And a base hit.
And it works.
Alexis Kierstad leads off the 6th.
And here, just turns on a pitch left on the inside part of the plate. It's a good pitch. That's a great swing. And she's on first.
Let's go number 6.
Unfortunately, she's not up for quite some time. So if we're still cheering for 6 in this inning, there's going to be a lot of runs on the board.
Cam Casey is due up 9th here in this inning. Fisted away foul, 1-1. Talon Star, the all name squad here. Cousins with Iny Hicks here on the team. Their uncle is their charter bus driver.
I know,
as well.
how cool was that, right? He was able to come with them.
She smacks that one to deep right center field. That's going to get down. Kierstad rounding second. She'll get to third. The throw, and on the throw, what a great job of base running there from Talon Star. She hung out between first and second and said as soon as that ball leaves her hand in right field, I'm off to second, and she gets a free base.
And that shows good coaching, because over there at first base, as Taylon Starr hit that ball, it went out into that right center gap, but the first baseman was the cutoff to home. So great base coaching over there by Taylor Redding, the assistant coach. And they, I know this is gonna surprise you, Matt, they intentionally put Goose on base. What's up with that?
And maybe it wouldn't have mattered there on that last play what happened, whether it's first and third, second and third.
Bases loaded, they showed that they would walk her, but not intentionally. Unintentionally, intentionally, right?
Candace Burnett now with an opportunity to blow this game wide open and essentially make it unreachable. She has been blistering this week.
I mean, it was the deep sac fly out there to left that played it a run early in this game, and then the huge double out there to center, played it some more. She has been en fuego.
Spanish for on fire. Here to help.
Thank you.
Candace Burnett. Archaeologist in her future, but how about a 2 RBI single in her future? Rounding third is Starr. And Oklahoma adds to their lead.
This ball was absolutely got such a mechanically sound swing. Doesn't try to load too much. Quick hands right to the ball, keeps her eyes still all the way through contact, and her base runners back her up. Goose over there at second, recognizing she's got to stay close to the bag, but 2 more come across for Oklahoma.
This lineup is full of big hitters.
And this is a dangerous Oklahoma team as they continue to put pressure on defenses and the pitcher in the circle.
Riley Dotson saying, let's go Dotson. Oh, we might have a turn 2. Oh, tried to turn 2 and it hit, hit Hutchins right in the back. I don't think they were going to get her anyway. Cricket was trying to come over and finish the double play. Just throw it to the base.
This is a solid hit. Another one for Oklahoma. Gets her in the back of the helmet. Shake it off. And the double fit, the double thumbs, we're good.
Like Goose, like, was that a fly that hit my back of my head there?
Yeah, water off a duck's back, right?
Well done. And Cricket has that one, and they will turn the double play there. Good defense being shown here by Nevada. A double play does end the inning. Cricket gets the lift.
Yeah, they don't need to tag the runner. They just need the foot on the bag. She gets it. The double play gets them out of the inning. But she's been my favorite player watching her this week. And so ask and you shall receive. I got myself a Cricket shirt.
That's great. I mean, in the power rankings of Crickets, she's probably up there. Jiminy.
She's above Jiminy in my book now. I mean,
as a Disney employee, that's a big statement.
I'm saying, if I'm Pinocchio, I still like Alexis Kearns more right now.
Okay, all right. See if his nose grows.
Nope.
That one is fair. Goose, look at that strong arm from Goose Hutchins for out number 1.
Yeah, obviously that shot to the head in the last inning did not affect her. This is a sharply hit ground ball, but she comes up with it, picks it up and says, I got you. Now the thing that does get her in trouble every now and again, as a baseball player, you have a little bit more time, and so she picks that ball up over at third and gives the little shuffle step, but we saw that get her in trouble earlier as she picked a ball up that was in the 5-6 hole and continued to shuffle.
That one, Goose, making that one look easy. 2 down. Oklahoma an out away from improving to 3-0 in pool play. They're all having fun out here tonight. Green Country Little League from Muskogee, Oklahoma. Wins over New Jersey, North Carolina, and an out away from a win over Nevada. And now the top of the lineup, KK Enriquez. We've had a great week so far. Some other crews are going to be taking over. Tiffany Green and Madison Shipman will be back here tomorrow. John Tobias doing a great job with the stats. If you saw that on camera there with in the booth, there was some disembodied head there standing on the
He
on the
has
TV.
been awesome
Helping
this
with
week.
Stats and nuggets. Appreciate
Thank you
it.
so much, Tobias.
Chris Damiani producing. He'll be here throughout the week. Everyone in the truck. Chris, give me some names here. There have been a lot of names that have been. Michael Ahrens, our director, has been great. Everyone humoring us, allowing us to humor them.
We've had so much fun.
It's been great. It's been a lot of fun.
So while you and I may be saying goodbye to the
right.
tournament, these two teams are not. We are still in pool play. And bracket play does not begin until
Monday.
Monday.
And in fact, you could make the argument the tournament's just beginning here.
But the next time these two teams face, they will be in single elimination. So it will be a do or die situation. So while tonight has so much energy and so much passion, this is the kind of game you want as you head into bracket play, because the teams will be seated as they head into the next round, knowing that your back's against the wall every game.
Quarterfinals begin Monday, bracket style. And Oklahoma looking like they'll get the 1 seed in the Mendoza region, which would mean they take on the 4th seed in the Finch division. Of course, a lot of the seeding's yet to be decided. We'll know by Sunday night. That one inside. KK Enriquez heads to first.
Now batting at number 19, Ava Koenig.
It's on the last game that the last out in each inning was the hardest one to get. Tons of scoring with 2 outs. They need to score at least 5 in this inning to push them to extend this game. Can they do it as they sit at the top of the lineup?
Ava Koenig, who was pitch hit for the last time up, because all players need to bat before the 6th. This is her first at bat since the 2nd inning. What a job Zoe Griffin has done in the circle for Oklahoma. It was a touch and go inning in the first, but since then just 1 run allowed, but could be more as this inning continues. Base hit. Enriquez is going to hang out at second. Don't want to make the final out at third. Better safe than sorry, but the inning continues.
Well, and when you're sitting down with a 5-run deficit, there is no need to force the envelope and make it a close play at third base. So it's picked up out there in right field by Kierstead, gets it in quickly. No harm done on that hit. There are 5 runs to play with, and with just 1 out to be pulled in to finish this game, there's no need for anybody to be pressing defensively at this time. However, a lot of pressure on this batter as she steps in. Charlie Seamy, big task ahead of her.
And these are the kind of moments that'll get you ready for bracket play. This is not do or die. You know you're going to live to see another game, another few games here in this tournament. You might not get the number 1 seed in your division going into bracket play, but these are the kind of experiences here that can get you ready for next week.
Definitely showing what they can do in a pressure-filled situation.
Seamy flies that one to right. Kierstead has it for out number 3, and Oklahoma allows just 1 run in the final 5 innings against a red-hot Nevada team that was hitting .339 entering this game.
I tell you what, Oklahoma has shown that they can put a ton of runs up on the board. They scored in all but 2 innings here tonight. They are ready to take on bracket play after 1 more day of pool play.
22 runs have been scored by Oklahoma in their 3 wins.